Today, you're about to witness a miracle in a small Ohio town. A poor mechanic builds a special device that helps a 7-year-old girl take her very first steps. Her mother's tears of joy will leave you speechless. Stay tuned, because this story is all about hope, determination, and the power of human kindness. Like, share, and subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. Let's get started. Lily had always been different from the other kids in her small Ohio town. At 7 years old, she had never walked on her own, confined to a wheelchair since birth. Her legs were weak, frail, and uncooperative, leaving her dependent on others for even the smallest tasks. Despite her disability, Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity, and her laughter could light up the darkest room. Her mother, Claire, often watched her with a mixture of pride and worry, praying for a miracle that seemed impossible. Every day brought challenges, but Lily faced them with courage. Claire worked long hours at a local diner, barely making enough to cover rent and medical bills. Raising Lily alone wasn't easy, and the constant worry about her daughter's mobility weighed heavily on her. She spent countless nights researching therapies, devices, and treatments that might help Lily take even a single step. Doctors had offered hope, but nothing seemed to work. Each failed attempt left Claire feeling defeated, and yet she refused to give up. She loved her daughter too much to let despair take over. One rainy afternoon, Claire faced yet another crisis. Lily's wheelchair, old and worn from years of daily use, broke down completely. The wheel had cracked, leaving the chair unstable and unsafe. Claire tried everything to fix it herself, but her attempts failed. Panic set in as she realized her daughter would be trapped without mobility. She needed help, fast. With no family nearby, Claire drove to the only place she could think of, a modest garage on the outskirts of town. The sign read, "Jake's Repairs, anything fixed, anything made." She had no idea that stepping into that garage would change both their lives forever. Jake the mechanic was a man in his late 20s with grease-stained hands and a heart as big as his toolbox. He had grown up fixing cars, bikes, and broken appliances, but helping a disabled child was new territory. When Claire explained Lily's situation, he didn't flinch. Instead, he listened carefully, observing Lily as she smiled shyly from her wheelchair. He could see the hope in her eyes and the desperation in her mother's. Something inside him clicked. He promised Claire he would do everything he could to help, even if it seemed impossible. He wasn't going to let a little girl lose her chance to walk. Over the next few days, Jake examined the wheelchair and realized it was beyond simple repair. He sketched ideas, tinkered with metal and wires, and searched for components that could support Lily's legs safely. His garage was filled with tools, parts, and scraps of machinery, but none were ordinary. He was creating something entirely new, a hybrid device that combined mobility with support. Jake worked late, into the night, fueled by determination. Every adjustment brought him closer to a solution, and he imagined the moment when Lily would stand. It was more than mechanical work. It was hope in tangible form. Claire visited the garage daily, watching Jake work tirelessly. She marveled at his dedication and felt a sense of relief she hadn't known in months. Lily, curious and excited, observed every movement, reaching out to touch the device as it took shape. Jake explained how it would help her shift her weight, strengthen her legs, and eventually allow her to take steps. He spoke gently to her, as though each word could instill confidence in her fragile body. The bond between the mechanic and the little girl grew stronger each day. Lily laughed, asked questions, and for the first time seemed to truly believe that she might walk. The community soon caught wind of the unusual project. Neighbors stopped by to watch the transformation, offering encouragement and small donations to help fund materials. Everyone was inspired by the sight of Jake, a humble mechanic, dedicating himself to changing a child's life. People whispered that miracles didn't happen every day, yet here was one, unfolding in a dusty garage. Claire couldn't stop crying when she saw the support from strangers, and Lily's smile grew wider with each passing day. It was as though hope itself had entered the room, riding on the gears and metal of Jake's creation. Finally, after weeks of preparation, the device was ready. Jake carefully fitted it to Lily's legs, adjusting straps and supports with precision. Claire held her daughter's hand tightly, tears streaming down her cheeks. Lily felt a mixture of fear and excitement as Jake explained how to shift her weight and balance. The garage was silent except for the hum of determination and the sound of small tools clinking. This was the moment they had been waiting for. Jake's invention was no longer just metal and mechanics, it was a bridge to freedom. Lily took her first tentative steps, guided by Jake's steady hands and the support of his ingenious device. Each movement was a victory, and Claire's tears flowed freely as she watched her daughter wobble forward, one small step at a time. Neighbors cheered outside the garage, witnessing what seemed impossible become reality. For Lily, it was the beginning of a new life, filled with possibilities. For Claire, it was proof that hope, courage, and human kindness could truly change everything. And for Jake, it was a reminder that sometimes the greatest achievements come from helping those who need it most. The first day Lily took steps with Jake's device was unforgettable, but the real challenge was teaching her to walk consistently. Jake spent hours patiently guiding her, correcting her balance, and adjusting the device to make it more comfortable. Each attempt brought a mixture of laughter, frustration, and determination. Claire stayed close, offering encouragement and wiping away tears when her daughter stumbled. The garage became a training ground filled with hope and perseverance. For Lily, each step was more than physical movement. It was proof that she could overcome limitations. With every wobble, she grew stronger, more confident in her own ability to move. Word spread quickly through the town about Lily's progress. People began stopping by Jake's garage, not only to see the miracle unfold, but to offer support. Some brought homemade meals, others donated small medical supplies, and a few even volunteered to help Lily practice outside the garage. The atmosphere was electric with hope and community spirit. Claire felt overwhelmed with gratitude. It was amazing to see strangers care so deeply about her daughter's journey. For Lily, the attention didn't feel overwhelming. It felt empowering. She started to recognize the encouragement in every smile and wave, giving her courage to push further. Jake's invention evolved with each passing day. He made adjustments to the straps, replaced certain mechanical parts, and even added padding to ensure Lily's comfort. The device, once a rough prototype, was becoming a fully functional mobility aid. He documented everything meticulously, knowing that his work could help other children one day. Every improvement was driven by Lily's progress and the visible joy on her mother's face. Jake had never imagined that fixing a wheelchair could turn into such a life-changing project. The garage became more than a workspace. It became a laboratory of hope, perseverance, and human compassion. By the third week, Lily could walk several steps independently with minimal support. Each time she succeeded, Claire's joy knew no bounds. Tears streamed down her face, a mixture of relief, pride, and disbelief. She had waited her entire life to see her daughter take steps like this, and now it was happening in front of her eyes. Neighbors and friends began cheering her progress, taking videos and photos to share the story online. The news spread beyond the town, inspiring thousands across the state. For Lily, the small victories were monumental, each one marking progress toward a life she had only dreamed of. Claire watched as Lily began to enjoy her newfound mobility. She would take little laps around the garage, laughing and giggling with pride. Jake often stood nearby, making minor adjustments while offering guidance. The bond between mechanic and child grew stronger every day. He celebrated each milestone with her, treating her progress like a personal victory. Claire couldn't stop thanking him, knowing that without Jake's creativity and determination, none of this would be possible. Every step Lily took was a testament to human resilience, love, and ingenuity. Claire realized that miracles could be created when compassion and skill came together. Despite the excitement, challenges remained. Lily's muscles were weak, and walking for extended periods was exhausting. Jake carefully monitored her stamina, encouraging breaks and gentle practice sessions. Claire learned alongside him, supporting Lily and noting her progress. Each setback was treated as a lesson rather than a failure. Slowly, Lily built strength, endurance, and confidence. Jake's innovative device and teaching methods complemented each other perfectly. With encouragement from both her mother and Jake, Lily began to dream of a life where walking was no longer an impossibility. Her determination inspired everyone around her to believe in her success. Community involvement grew as the story gained attention. Local newspapers and social media highlighted Lily's journey, calling Jake's invention a miracle of innovation and kindness. People across Ohio and neighboring states reached out, offering to help fund materials or provide guidance for similar children. Claire felt proud and overwhelmed by the support. The little garage had transformed into a hub of inspiration and hope, showing the power of collective goodwill. Lily, oblivious to her growing fame, focused solely on her progress. Each step she took was a victory not only for herself, but for the entire community that had rallied around her. By the end of the month, Lily could walk across the garage independently, holding her mother's hand only for reassurance. The joy in the room was palpable, with laughter, applause, and tears of happiness filling every corner. Jake's invention had exceeded all expectations. Claire felt a surge of hope for the future. For the first time, she truly believed her daughter could live an independent and fulfilling life. Lily's courage had inspired everyone around her, showing that determination and kindness could overcome even the most daunting obstacles. The garage, once quiet and ordinary, had become a place where miracles were made real. The journey was far from over, but the progress was undeniable. Lily's world had expanded beyond the limitations of her previous life. She could explore her home, play with friends, and even attend school more confidently. Claire felt a sense of relief and gratitude she had never known before. Jake's dedication, creativity, and unwavering belief in Lily's potential had made it all possible. The story of a humble mechanic changing a little girl's life spread far and wide, inspiring people to act with compassion and ingenuity. For Lily, the first steps were only the beginning of a life full of hope, opportunity, and freedom. With Lily now walking confidently in Jake's invention, life took on a new rhythm. Mornings were filled with practice walks, afternoons with playful explorations, and evenings with laughter. Echoing through Claire's home, the little girl's independence grew with each passing day. Claire could finally see her daughter participating in normal childhood activities, from playing hopscotch with neighborhood kids to attending school functions without relying solely on a wheelchair. Jake continued to make small adjustments, ensuring that Lily's device grew with her. Every step forward reinforced the idea that determination, love, and human ingenuity could truly overcome obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. The story of Jake and Lily spread across Ohio and soon reached national attention. News outlets featured the humble mechanic who defied expectations and created a device that doctors thought impossible. People were inspired by the tale of a community coming together to support a little girl's first steps. Donations poured in, not only to help Lily, but to expand Jake's invention for other children with mobility challenges. Schools, charities, and hospitals reached out to collaborate, seeking advice on how to replicate the device for children in need. What began in a small garage had become a nationwide movement of hope. Claire's gratitude toward Jake was endless. She often reflected on how a single act of kindness had changed their lives forever. What amazed her most wasn't just the invention, but Jake's unwavering patience, creativity, and belief in Lily's potential. He treated her daughter with respect, encouragement, and joy, fostering confidence that extended far beyond the physical steps Lily now took. Claire had worried for years about her child's future, but seeing Lily explore the world with independence filled her heart with a relief she couldn't fully express. Jake had not only built a device, he had built hope. Lily embraced her newfound freedom with uncontainable enthusiasm. She explored her backyard, raced with friends, and even climbed small playground equipment with the help of her device. Each activity increased her strength and confidence, and her smile reflected a life unburdened by previous limitations. Jake continued to refine the device, adding adjustable supports and lighter materials so that Lily could move more naturally. Claire marveled at how far her daughter had come in such a short time. Every moment of laughter, every confident step, reminded her that persistence and compassion could create miracles that seemed impossible only weeks before. As the invention gained recognition, Jake faced new challenges. He wanted to ensure that children beyond Lily could benefit from his device. He collaborated with engineers and therapists, developing a version that could be produced more efficiently while still maintaining safety and effectiveness. Claire helped organize fundraising efforts, spreading awareness through social media and local events. The community's support was overwhelming, with volunteers offering skills, materials, and encouragement. The small garage that once held only machines and tools had become a hub for innovation, compassion, and hope. Lily's first steps had sparked a movement bigger than any of them could have imagined. The emotional impact on Claire was profound. She often recounted how hopeless she had felt before meeting Jake, and how every tear of frustration transformed into tears of joy as Lily's progress grew. The bond between mother and daughter strengthened, as did Claire's appreciation for human kindness. Seeing Lily accomplish what doctors had deemed impossible brought a perspective she had never known, an understanding that determination, community support, and creativity could transform lives in ways no one expected. Every day became a celebration of progress, laughter, and gratitude. Lily's friends, neighbors, and classmates were amazed at her determination and growth. Some had never seen such a transformation, and many became inspired by her story. Lily encouraged other children with disabilities, showing them that independence was possible. Jake's creation became more than a tool. It became a symbol of hope, courage, and human resilience. Local schools invited Lily and Jake to speak at assemblies, sharing lessons about perseverance, empathy, and innovation. The journey that began in a modest garage had grown into an inspiring tale for children and adults alike, touching hearts across the state. As time went on, Lily's mobility improved so much that she began attending school independently, using her device only for support when needed. Claire no longer needed to worry about her daughter being confined at home. She could watch Lily play, socialize, and participate in activities that once seemed unattainable. Jake's invention had not only given Lily the ability to walk, it had given her a life filled with opportunity. Claire's gratitude extended beyond words. She made it her mission to help Jake continue his work, spreading the possibility of mobility and independence to children in need nationwide. Eventually, the small garage transformed into a workshop dedicated to helping children with mobility challenges. Jake continued innovating, Claire assisted with outreach, and Lily served as a joyful reminder of the possibilities that human ingenuity could achieve. The journey of a little girl, taking her first steps, inspired a community, a state, and eventually a nation. It was proof that sometimes heroes aren't doctors or celebrities. They are ordinary people with extraordinary hearts. The story of Jake, Claire, and Lily would remain a testament to hope, courage, and the power of a helping hand.